My niece used to say that my aunt is a truck driver because every time she calls, I'm driving either to the detention centers or going to interviews for the asylum office, and everything is far.
Natalie Gayumi is one of an estimated 2,000 immigration lawyers in California, home to one of the biggest immigration courts in the U.S. She handles asylum and deportation cases.
So I can go ahead and call you later today at around 3:30. That way Natalie will be on the line and she can explain what the next step would be for you.
As of March 2019, the nationwide backlog of asylum and detention cases pending in U.S. immigration courts has swelled to over 800,000.
Currently, I have about 150 pending cases. I know people who have over 1,000. I do a lot of detained work. The cases are not quick, as a lot of people think. You come to the border and you seek asylum and you get asylum. It's not like that, you know.
Is this a system that's susceptible to fraud?
I don't believe so, but that's why there is that system. First, you have to screen and see if they do have a case. Then you look at whether they qualify for something else. You know, you have to figure out sometimes who has jurisdiction over your case, where can you file what. Not only is it a very long process, it's very complicated, and the standards are very difficult to meet. So a lot of cases don't even get approved because the standards are very hard. You know, you're basically relying on testimony.
When you think about the number of years that it may take, you think about the cost involved, sheltering, housing, and not to mention all the legal costs and administrative costs involved with a single person. What is our obligation as a country to footing the bill for all of that?
I think especially if we focus on asylum, it's a humanitarian relief. You know, America has always been the greatest country in the world. That's why everybody thinks that America is safe. Everybody came here as immigrants, most of the people, you know, for religious freedom, for political freedom, and so that is what this country was based on.
In the U.S., nearly 8 out of every 10 asylum applications is denied.
Sometimes when I'm driving, I listen to music and sing. Sometimes I listen to Iranian music. I was born and raised in Iran, came here at 16. So I understand when people come here and, you know, they don't speak the language, they don't know the laws, and it's difficult. I mean, with immigration, if you're not feeling passionate about it, you can't really effectively help. It is one of the lowest paying jobs for attorneys. And a lot of attorneys are doing work on a flat rate basis. It's not hourly for a lot of people that I know. So this is a plaza right across the street from the federal building in Los Angeles where the court is at. Immigration attorneys, whether defense or on the prosecution side, a lot of them come here and get coffee, or I've seen them around. Here, everybody's in a rush because you have to get to court, then you have to go back to the office, you have to go back to the detention center, so everybody's in a rush, but we do usually see each other for 2-3 minutes that we have.
The odds of winning a case in immigration court with an attorney is 46%. Without an attorney, chances drop to just 10%.
What are your chances of winning in court without an attorney?
Very low.
So basically, you have to have an attorney.
You're not required to, but yes.
Having an attorney can be a life or death issue for those fearing deportation to countries hostile to them.
Hi, how are you?
Reza Kavari fled from his home country of Afghanistan, claiming religious persecution, but was denied asylum, and now Natalie is helping him appeal his deportation.
Right now, there are 2 cases pending, and I believe they're both very strong, but nobody can really guarantee the result. So right now, we're just waiting.
It doesn't have any times
we never know how long it takes. It could take a few months, it could take years.
So I wish someday something change or something happen.
It is hard. It is hard. But at least you're safe. You know, we try to be, we try to take some of the emotions out and try to be strictly focused on the cases. But some of the cases, even when you're done with them, you know, years later, you wonder, you know, what's happening with the person. And there are cases that I tried my 100% best, and the court gave a lot of chances, and still the person didn't follow through. Or sometimes it's just such a successful story that, well, I wonder if she graduated from her master's degree, or I wonder if she got out of that relationship that was bothering her, or, you know, just little things like that. Some of them you never forget. So yesterday I went to Washington for court, state of Washington, and it's a little exhausting, and most people can't afford, you know, travel expenses, so half the time I'm not even charging them for travel expenses. I'm just basically charging them for the case. I don't know why I do it, but I love it. This is a stressful period, I think, at least for me. A lot of the rules, the laws, the policies, the political aspect of things, they keep changing. People are just worried, you know, they call more often, they hear something on the news or from their friends and say, oh, they're saying now that we can't file for this, or is this true, is this not? And there's a lot of information that may or may not be true. I've had times when I'm asleep and I just wake up in the middle of the night thinking, should I file this motion? Why didn't I think about that? I mean, I don't even know how that works, but I wake up with that thought, and I, you know, end up waking up and actually trying to do it. So it doesn't usually end once you leave the office. It doesn't end.
For some migrants, the uncertainty of being granted legal humanitarian entry into the U.S. isn't worth the risk, so they opt instead for a more expedient path by striking a deal with organized crime, who control all means of crossing the U.S. border illegally.